Hey guys, it's Amber, also known as Pretty Amor, and I'm a reseller on platforms such as eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop, and Etsy. And today I have another what sold video for you today. I am in a different background. I'm actually outside. Well, I'm in my sunroom. There's a lot going on inside. It is actually Thanksgiving Day, but I haven't been feeling the greatest, so I couldn't pack up packages before Thanksgiving, unfortunately, so they will be going out tomorrow a.m. or I might drop them off at the post office on my way to another Thanksgiving dinner, but regardless, they are in compliance with shipping and everything. So yeah, that is why I look a little rough too, but I'm feeling better and I decided to film this video, and it will be in with another video that I will post on, I post on Tuesday. So whatever sells between now, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and Monday, or well, probably Sunday, I will have in the same video to post on Tuesday. First, we have these cute Sorel Out and About shoes. They are from a consignment client. They sold on Poshmark in just 43 days for $40 with discounted shipping, and after all those fees and I pay out my consignment client, I make $12.50. These super cute Dora earrings. I should open the box when I say super cute. And the box is adorable too, but this is what they look like. 4-karat gold, cubic zirconia. I actually got these at the Goodwill Bins, and they sold fairly quickly on eBay in 25 days for $10. These weighed basically nothing, but my average for that day was $1.41 per item, so that's what I put down. But honestly, this was probably free. And if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you saw me post about this cat folk art. I believe like a pencil holder or anything can really go in this basket or just used for decoration. I was like, what possessed me to pick this up at the Goodwill Bins? But I guess the thrift gods did, because it sold fairly quickly over on eBay in just 16 days for an offer of $35. And my average for the bins that day was $1.52 per item. This White & Warren cashmere sweater sold in 196 days on Poshmark for an offer of $35, and I got it at the Salvation Army for $3.74. This is a Lily Pulitzer girls pajama set I found in my death pile, actually a couple of videos back, where I went through my attic and I listed everything that was up there from 2+ years ago when I moved here. But I believe these have been in my death pile for at least 4 years. 3 to 4 years at least. I'm not really sure how much I have into them anymore. I know I got them off of Facebook, but I just put down $12 because I'm assuming I wouldn't pay too much more, but I'm not really sure at this point. 4 years later, I wasn't very good at accounting back then. I was like, oh, well, when they sell, I'll just look back on my PayPal and see how much I paid. There's too much on my PayPal at this point for me to find it, and some sellers don't list like Lily Pulitzer pajama, whatever. They just are like 3 items sold. So like I have no idea whatsoever, but whatever. After I listed them, then they sold on eBay after 86 days for an offer of $39. This Gymshark bra actually sold on Curtsy fairly quickly. I posted it for $15 plus shipping over there, and they only asked for half shipping off. So I will put here what the breakdown was, because I don't have that on Nifty. They don't support that platform yet, and I forgot to write it down before I started filming the video, but it did sell for $15 plus half shipping, and I am thinking the shipping was $5 to $6. But I did get this at a regular Goodwill for $6.99 because I was going to get it, or I should say, I was going to wear it myself, but it did have some flaws on the back, And of course, I disclose them, but it's still definitely wearable. But it's sold, I believe, within a week. So at least I get my money back, I think, I hope. And this was kind of a slow week leading up to Thanksgiving, which is pretty typical of what I've seen in the past years. And of course, it happens again during Christmas week, or at least I presume it will again this year. And I hope that people don't ask about a week before if their present can get there before Christmas, because I'm already having trouble with the post office. And of course, Poshmark switching over to Ground Advantage. Things are getting there much, much later than they did when they had priority. So I really hope customers don't expect packages before Christmas, a week before. But anyway, this Brooks Brothers polo, new with tags, sold in 63 days over on Poshmark for an offer of $25, and I got it at the Goodwill Bins for $1.58. I'm not sure if I've mentioned how important it is to always be updating your listings. This was updated, I believe, 89 days ago, I want to say. And that's when it sold. I'm not technically sure, but I think that's what Nifty tells me, 89 days. And I want to say that's when I updated it. And they changed that to how many days that it was listed. Because I changed the title, the description, keywords, and I believe I might have lowered the price. I really can't remember. But these are another pair that I've had. Oh, they're Lululemon. These are another pair of Lululemon leggings that I've had for quite some time. They weren't in my death pile. They were always listed, but the photos looked horrendous. They were in my dad's basement. I had the background of a white blanket because I had just moved back home and that's what I could have. Otherwise, it was concrete walls. I still did use Photo Room to white out the background of the first cover photo. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have done it all so it wasn't this weird white thing going on, and then I don't know. It was a disaster. I still have some listings up like that because I haven't gotten around to doing pictures, retaking pictures and things like that. But I do try to update the titles and descriptions and the price pretty regularly if I don't have anything new to post, or I don't know, I'm bored or something like that in the car. But yes, so it's important because I had these listed probably for 3 years, and then 89 days after I changed all that, they sold on Poshmark for an offer of $41, which was a 10% offer, a 10% off offer of my listing price. So I guess they were listed for $46. I got these on Poshmark actually, and it was in a bundle, so my costs for these were $12. Long rant for those prices, but it's just important to stay up to date with the listings that you have. I mean, everything is always changing, like cores, aesthetics, keywords. So you always want to change that and make sure that your listings are being seen by people that are going to be buying it, you know? Anyway, this Jessica Simpson infant one-piece like snowsuit thing sold in 213 days over on Poshmark for an offer of $21. And I got this at the Goodwill Bins. I originally sent it to Once Upon a Child, and I got all my money back from that trip from Once Upon a Child. So I'm saying that this cost is $0 to me. So what did I make then? It had discounted shipping, so $15.30. And this took a little while to sell because I found this, I believe, in February or March, whatever 213 days are later. Give a little buffer for sitting in the death pile. But yeah, that was the end of winter season, so it took until this new winter season to sell. And we have another listing where I updated it, but this is still, I guess Nifty didn't say. Oh, I know what happened. I didn't delist it from eBay, or it didn't delist for some reason. Sometimes eBay is weird, and if you delist something, it's like, nah, I'm gonna add it back, and then sometimes you get screwed and it sells, even though you already sold it once. But whatever. So this has been listed on Nifty for 301 days, but I know that I've had it a lot longer than that. But the listing that actually sold wasn't the one that I tweaked, so I don't know. Whatever. This is a Topshop dress. I didn't say that yet. And it sold on eBay, like I said, in 301 days to an international buyer for an offer of $30. And I got it for $1.59, I want to say, from a ThredUp box. I can't really remember, but... And yeah, that is all the sales for the last 3 days before Thanksgiving. So I will loop in what sold this weekend and post on Tuesday. So here's this other video. So, this is actually from Thanksgiving to today, Sunday, and I believe I added it to another video. So yeah, this is what sold since my big sale quote unquote. On eBay I did 25% off everything in my store. Some people countered that, so I did offer a little bit less. I got some real lowball offers, but you know, I'm not gonna get my feelings hurt or anything like that. There are actually a lot of people watching the sales in hopes of them being lower, but they're not gonna get any lower. So, but I think my sale did pretty great, competing with other Black Friday specials and actually in the actual stores and everything like that. So it goes until Cyber Monday night, so hopefully I get some more sales since then, but they won't be on this video more than likely, but we'll see. First up is this Columbia big men's jacket. It is a 6XL. It was my grandpa's, so I'm very happy that this found a new home right before Christmas. But it did sell for $30, and so of course my cost of goods was $0 since it was my grandpa's. If you follow me on Facebook, and I'm not sure if I posted it on Instagram or not, I believe I did actually. I traded in some items from the Goodwill Bins to Once Upon a Child. They gave me $69 and some change for 42 items. Not that great, but it helped pay for a lot of my bins items that I'm going to sell on my own and send to ThredUp. And you got to take into account I take stuff to Plato's Closet too, so you know. But with that, I had a $10 off coupon, and I bought 3 pairs of shoes with that and $14 of my trade-in. So these boots sold from that. I'll put what the cost of good was right here. I can't remember off the top of my head with all those breakdowns, but these sold for $26.25. A little bit lower than what I wanted, but like I said, I put in everything in my store into the sale and wasn't really thinking, but you know, they're going to a new home. They're basically like brand new, and they're out the door before winter's over. So they were on eBay for only 4 days. Then we have this new with tag Lane Bryant little duster coat with super cute floral embroidery and a little shimmer detailing. That sold in 28 days on Poshmark for an offer of $44, and I got it at the Goodwill Bins for $1.49. Then these kids Carhartt overalls sold. I got them from a consignment client, but unfortunately the tag was worn off for the size, so I wasn't exactly sure what the size was, so I had to provide measurements and guess, so hopefully that's not an issue. But because of that, I did sell them a little bit lower and to get them moving quickly before winter ends. So Nifty sent out a 10% offer of $13 in discounted shipping. There's $1.50 less that I get, so the $4.99 shipping. And after Poshmark fees and paying out my consignment client, I make $2.70. These Dansko Patty clog shoes sold in 179 days on Poshmark for an offer of $35, and I got them at the Goodwill Bins for $1.92. These kids off-white shoes were given to me from my cousin, so the cost of goods was free, but they sold on eBay in 42 days for $80, and after shipping, or I guess after fees and everything, I make $59.86. This vintage Avon cologne perfume sold on Etsy in 89 days for my asking price of $15. My Etsy was actually on sale as well. I believe I did 20% off of everything. And I got this at a regular Goodwill in a big bundle of, I think it was 60 of them. So my cost of goods was $1.03. And another vintage Avon cologne sold on Etsy. This one is the Cute Cookie. It sold in 35 days for $11.25. Again, that was on my sale as well, and the cost of goods was also $1.03. I actually sold a full can of Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You gotta look out for the Jurassic World line. This is discontinued now. They each have a dinosaur on it. This one is the Velociraptor. There's other ones that are discontinued as well to be on the lookout for. The ones that actually have pop in it sell for more. People collect them or whatever. I have, I think, 3 others for sale, and this has been listed for 73 days. When I found out they were being discontinued, I stocked up on a little bit more, but actually I drink these and so does my husband, so if they don't sell, we're gonna drink them anyway, so whatever. But it sold for $2.62 with my 25% off sale. And I can't think of what. I got a 12-pack, and I'll put the price right here. So this Disney Cars stocking sold in 14 days on Poshmark for an offer of $9, and I got it at the Goodwill Bins for $1.32. This J. Crew Kids clip-on tie sold in 71 days on Poshmark. Nifty sent out offers, so I got $11 from that sale with $4.99 shipping, and this was free to me because I got it from a ThredUp box, and I made back all my money from sending the items into Once Upon a Child and more, therefore leaving the items that I had left to list on my own free. This graphic hoodie that says Dream on the front and has an eye on the back and some graphic was a Poshmark consignment item, so of course it sold on Poshmark. It took 125 days, and I got an offer of $21, and after Poshmark fees and consignment client fees, I make $8.40. This Fredericks of Hollywood bodysuit sold. The picture will be better down here. I know it's in the plastic, you can't really tell what it looks like, but it sold on eBay for 233 days for an offer of $25. They countered my 25% off. I had it listed at $50, so essentially they got 50% off, but I was ready for it to move. The cost of goods was $2.16 from Boutique by the Box. I had a little bundle sale of 2 socks. One is West Loop women's double layer socks, and these cute little Sherpa lined bear socks. On the inside they have cute little bear tracks. They were both bins finds, so essentially they really weighed nothing, but they were still included in my cost of goods. The West Loop sold in 72 days, and these socks sold in 155 days on Poshmark, and combined their cost of goods was $3.12, but like I said, they really don't weigh too much, so but after that I made $4.43. These Lululemon men's license to train pants, size medium, sold in just 4 days over on eBay for $30. They did have a couple of snags and an issue with the drawstring. I believe it got wrapped up in the dryer, and the aglet on the string fell off as well. So of course I noted that. That's why we took a little bit lower of an offer. But they were from a consignment client. So after paying them out, let's see, I will get $11.07. These Banana Republic shorts sold on Mercari in 311 days for an offer of $11.25. And I got them from a ThredUp box for $2.82. This cute LL Bean vest sold in 100 days on eBay for a counter offer, I believe, of $18.75 from my sale, and I got it at a regular Goodwill for $6.99. This North Face beanie sold in 101 days on eBay for $8, which was a counter offer from my 25% off sale, but I got at the bins for $1.41. This Burberry scarf that I found in the bins that came in the dust bag and had the authenticity card, sold during my eBay sale. So it was 25% off. So the price was $1.1250. And like I said, I got it at the bins, and the price for that day was $1.70 per piece. These T-Mobile gloves sold in 101 days on eBay for a counter offer of $8, and I got them at the bins for $1.41. This Fear of God Essentials hoodie, it's pretty rough condition. You can see that there's some other stains you can't see. The pocket is torn in 2 places. Some more spotting here, and I believe some on the back as well, but it still sold for $18.75 from my 25% off sale on eBay in just 15 days, and my cost of goods that day from the bins was $1.70 per item. This Fredericks of Hollywood bra sold in 144 days for $10, which was a counter offer on my eBay 25% off sale, and I got it at the Goodwill Bins for $1.92. This Hannah Anderson pajama top sold in 8 days for the full asking price of $19 on Poshmark, and I got it at the Goodwill Bins for $1.52. These Polo Ralph Lauren pajama pants sold on eBay in 63 days for 25% off for $22.50, and I got at the Goodwill Bins for $1.70. Another Avon perfume cologne sold. This one is called Precious Dough. It sold in 32 days for $15, which was part of my Etsy sale as well, and my cost of goods was $1.03. This big men's leather jacket, which is a size 5XL, was actually my grandpa's as well. So my cost of goods is $0, and it took 21 days to sell, and it sold for $37.50. I'm really glad that someone gets to wear his clothes again, and it really means so much to me to be able to sell his clothes, and he can help me out a little bit more, and I get to be able to see someone else enjoy the clothes, you know, instead of it just sitting around and I get sad. But yeah, so it's off to a good home. This Harley Davidson 2000 manual sold on eBay in 65 days for 25% off in my sale for $52.50, and I got it at a garage sale for $10. Me Too riding boots sold for $37.50 over on eBay, which was part of my sale as well, and they sold in 19 days. They're from a consignment client, so after fees and everything, I should make $12.61. And lastly, these Sorel boots, like barely worn, came from a consignment client, and they sold over on Poshmark in just 20 days for a reasonable offer of $80. And like I said, they're from a consignment client, so after paying them out, I will get $28. So that is what sold in, let's see, what is that? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in 4 days of Thanksgiving sales. I'm very grateful for all of these sales. And I hope more come through Cyber Monday, because my sale is still running until then. But I am so happy that all of these items get to go to a new home, especially before the new year. Let me know what sale surprised you the most. And as always, please like and subscribe for more videos. Bye.